Hello everyone, I welcome you to our channel Geo for Geography and myself Akshay Guru. So guys, here now as UPSC Preliminary examination is approaching, now it's like I have received many doubts about how to prepare for the environment and ecology. In fact, this environment and ecology is you must be knowing is pretty much important topic when it comes to the preparation of the prelims. Particularly mains may be itna hi important hai, but do remember from the perspective of the preliminary examination this is equally of very much importance. Okay, so that we need to prepare this particular subject in absolutely a strategized manner. We are not supposed to prepare this particular subject or this particular topic just taking a rough view out of this and a raw view out of this, and then again trying to strategize our preparation. No, that our strategy should be based upon analysis and inferences and then implementation. So do remember guys that the thing is, strategy is absolutely not something that is you have made in your dream, right? You have to have some basic foundations, okay, basic clarity over of the syllabus, basic clarity over on the PYQs those were asked, and then how much you are comfortable actually with the this particular train or the overall preparation time. So this particular video I am just going to have for the purpose of the trained analysis of environment and ecology wale questions for the case of preliminary examination. So I kept myself, I just keep myself pretty much limited with the preliminary examination as first, because now for the case of 2025 means now it is rather approaching, and I feel that is rather applicable for the upcoming years as well. So ab dekho, now this particular case of analysis, rather you how many years of question that you need to go through like for the purpose of this trained analysis. So what I have considered particularly since like 2016 and 17, what we have observed, environment and ecology particularly its weightage has started to increase. Earlier it was there, but the weightage was not to that extent जैसे जितना आज हो रहा है, right? अब जब analysis देखेंगे तो you will be having that pretty much clear idea about. So in this particular session I am just going to analyze the papers from 2017 to 2024. I'm not going to like have any discussion over on the question. The thing is, I am just going to have the analysis, number of questions. I have prepared a chart. मैंने सारे पेपर्स बहुत बार देखे हैं particularly, और उस बेसिस पे मैंने फिर different डोमेन्स में, जैसे स्पीशीज के बिहेवियर पे, स्पीशीज के डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन पे, इंटरनेशनल कन्वेंशंस, एनवायरमेंटल लेजिस्लेशंस इन द कंट्री, या न्यू इनिशिएटिव्स है, या लाइक बेसिक्स ऑफ द एनवायरमेंट. सो आई हैव कैटेगराइज्ड दिस मेनी डिफरेंट domains of this particular subject, and then accordingly how many questions were asked in the respective year. That is what I have prepared this chart for, and I feel you will equally find this rather pretty much important and useful as well. So without wasting time, how I'm going to proceed with this video, पहले तो हम chart देखेंगे, right? That chart which includes the different year wise and section wise, topic wise, how many questions were asked, and based on that I have drawn 5 inferences. So I believe this 5 particular inferences or conclusion based on this analysis would rather help you to prepare for, okay, or strategize yourself for the purpose of this preparation. Sure. So first, now the environment and ecology questions were asked like, say, this train. So train, as I told you, 2024 to 2017 I have already covered in, and I have categorized into the different domains, right? On this particular topic wise column you will find, देखो यहाँ पे, yes, यहाँ पे आपको डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स देखने मिलेंगे या सब्जेक्ट की जो हमारे सिलेबस के पॉइंट्स वो देखने मिलेंगे एंड अकॉर्डिंगली उसका वेटेज भी. सो द बेसिक्स ऑफ एनवायरमेंट इकोलॉजी, लाइक व्हाट मीन बाय एनवायरमेंट, व्हाट इज इकोलॉजी, व्हाट इज इकोसिस्टम एंड ऑल दोज बेसिक लाइक फूड चेन, फूड वेब एंड ऑल दोज बेसिक्स एज इन. देन एक्वाटिक इकोसिस्टम, दैट इज रादर समटाइम्स वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट एरिया जिस पे क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है. एक्वाटिक इकोसिस्टम, टेरेस्ट्रियल इकोसिस्टम टाइप्स ऑफ. देन बायोडिवर्सिटी एज इन, ठीक है, बायोडिवर्सिटी दैट यू मस्ट बी नोइंग इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट एरिया व्हेन इट कम्स टू दिस प्रिपरेशन. देन बायोडिवर्सिटी में यू विल फाइंड देन पहले तो बेसिक्स ऑफ बायोडिवर्सिटी पे क्वेश्चन आया करते थे. नाउ दैट ट्रेंड हैज नाउ बीन चेंज्ड एंड नाउ द स्पीशीज रादर है ना, द बायोडिवर्सिटी इज ऑल अबाउट द वैरायटी ऑफ लाइफ. सो वैरायटी ऑफ लाइफ इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्लांट्स, ऑफ फ्लोरा एंड fauna. Now you will find species distribution where they are actually having their spread, and species behavior, that is what this behavior, just like you will find orangutan, the food habit of the orangutan. Yeah, you will find the cultivator of fungi, right, that is what the ant. Yeah, you will find squirrel ke behavior. So simply this behavioral based questions you will find in the examination. Yeah, just latest in the last year cheetah ke behavior pe tha, lion ke behavior pe tha, leopard ke behavior pe. So accordingly you will find this behavior. Then the most important wetland and mangrove wala case. Then corals, that is very much important when it comes to mains examination, though we will find equally in the prelims as well. Then protected areas, national park, wildlife sanctuaries, है ना, national park, wildlife sanctuaries, biospecies reserves and those. Pollution, that is rather very much important, current affairs में रहेगा. So you will find इससे बहुत बार questions आएंगे. Crop residue burning, ozone pollution, benzene pollution, or like the way like you will find green technologies and methods. So in order to cure this pollution and the problem that we are facing, so how we are going to, just like geoengineering wala case hai ya SARS method hai, or you will find then accordingly carbon sequestration and this. Then international conventions and bodies, various convention on migratory species, international convention to combat desertification, or you will find the convention on the heritage, और भी जो conventions होंगे you will find those. Then environmental committees like over in the country, जैसे central zoo authority है या national green tribunal है. So on this सेंटर पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड जिस क्वेश्चन पूछा है. एनवायरमेंटल लेजिस्लेशन, लॉज है, वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट, दैट इज नोन एज द वाइल्ड लाइफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया. देन एयर पोल्यूशन एक्ट, वाटर पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल एक्ट, देन बायोडिवर्सिटी एक्ट, ट्राइबल्स राइट एक्ट है, एंड यू विल फाइंड अकॉर्डिंगली. Then material or their properties equally, that is what now, because now considering the new requirement for the development and the protection of the environment, now there is a lot of new materials have been introduced. Okay, so connecting with this you will find कि जैसे carbon fiber, carbon या furnace oil है, इस पर कुछ questions पूछे हैं. And then recently in the news category you will find इस पर भी questions पूछे हैं. So what now we have to consider this fact कि इस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक पे क्वेश्चंस आए हैं और कौन से टॉपिक पे कितने ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस है, अकॉर्डिंगली वी आर सपोज टू स्ट्रेटेजाइज आवर. नाउ देखो, नाउ इफ यू गो थ्रू द ट्रेंड ऑफ दिस एग्जामिनेशन, देन यू विल फाइंड के बेसिक्स पे, वैसे देखो बेसिक्स पे एटलीस्ट नाउ दिस 2 years नो क्वेश्चन वेयर आर 2020 2021 में क्वेश्चंस एंड देन इन अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस और क्वेश्चंस नहीं है. तो वो बेसिक्स वाले क्वेश्चन है फूड चेन, फूड वेब पे. देन एक्वाटिक इकोसिस्टम पे यू विल फाइंड 2021 में क्वेश्चन पूछा है. टेरेस्ट्रियल इकोसिस्टम में 2024 पे पूछा है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस जनरली ज्यादा क्वेश्चन पूछे नहीं गए. देन यू विल फाइंड biodiversity, that is I find rather very much important topic. The reason being species and their distribution is not the favorite area of the UPSC. So पहले क्वेश्चन अगर देखोगे you will find questions always in fact asked over on the species distribution, where they are like you will find marsupial species है ना, marsupial species, so kangaroo like species, so where they are located, so that is what their location. या इस या bonobo species जो कि अफ्रीका मैडागास्कर में you will find there. So this one. And behavior of species, if you find the trend, you will realize the trend of increment on the species behavior is rather incremental in nature. जैसे 2017-18 में एक क्वेश्चन था and now in 2024 4 to 5 questions have been asked. Are you getting it right? Because the behavior of the species is rather very much important when it comes to the understanding and particularly the forest service examinations as well, है ना, those candidates है, so just to help them as well. Wetland mangroves पे 1 or 2 questions है, ये prelims और mains दोनों के लिए important है. Corals equally you will find important questions है particularly for the mains. Then protected areas, yeah, you will find protected areas पे पहले देखो, पहले 2, 3, 4 क्वेश्चंस आया करते थे, बट नाउ इन द लास्ट फ्यू इयर्स द नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस हैज गॉन डाउन सिग्निफिकेंटली. तो पहले नेशनल पार्क, वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी, दे आर वेरी फोकस्ड एरिया, बट नाउ इट इज कंपैरेटिवली लेस. देन पोल्यूशन, We'll find pollution has more or less able to retain its overall significance as well. ठीक है, उसका significance वैसे रखा ही है pollution का भी. And then you will find the green technologies and method. जैसे various technologies and method, पहले number of questions were comparatively higher, but that doesn't mean we are supposed to ignore this case. No guys, absolutely not. You have to keep in touch with this latest technologies in the this environmental protection and domain. So this one, then international bodies and convention, that is rather you will find, अगर देखोगे पहले इसके number of questions कम थे, right, 17, 18, 19, but now the questions has increased significantly. So this टॉपिक rather very much important, जैसे स्पीशीज बिहेवियर है, स्पीशीज का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, बायोडाइवर्सिटी, पोल्यूशन या टेक्नोलॉजीज पे है, एंड देन इंटरनेशनल कन्वेंशन वी हैव टू फोकस अ लॉट ऑन दिस केस. देन एनवायरमेंटल बॉडीज और कमिटीज, इस पर 1 या 2 क्वेश्चन, 1 और 2 क्वेश्चन, जैसे सीपीसीबी और एनवायरमेंट एनजीटी के डिफरेंस पे पूछा है. विल फाइंड नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस वेर ऑलरेडी आस्क्ड. देन एनवायरमेंटल लेजिस्लेशन, 1-2 क्वेश्चंस कंपल्सरीली आस्क्ड ओवर इन द एग्जामिनेशन. लेटेस्ट ट्रेंड में भी यही है कि क्वेश्चन इसके मोर और लेस स्टेबल है, कांस्टेंट नंबर क्वेश्चंस है. देन मटेरियल प्रॉपर्टीज, नाउ मटेरियल प्रॉपर्टीज आर नाउ यू विल फाइंड कि अब इसके क्वेश्चंस बढ़ रहे हैं. ओके, लाइक से कार्बन फाइबर पे क्वेश्चंस है, फर्नेस ऑयल या एस्फाल्ट एंड बायोचार, राइट. सो दैट इज अगेन कनेक्ट विद द एनवायरमेंटल सस्टेनेबिलिटी. सो यू विल फाइंड इस पर भी क्वेश्चन बन रहे हैं. सो दोज वेरियस मटेरियल्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम द एनवायरमेंटल डोमेन पर्सपेक्टिव, प्रोटेक्शन पर्सपेक्टिव, वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन those aspects. Then recently in the news, these are comparatively different areas. Okay, so यहाँ पे recently in the news you will find 1-2 questions as in asked. Now overall, if you want to consider the weightage that is given to this particular case, so in 2014-24 16 questions were asked, in 23 14 questions were asked, 2022 12, so 16 15 19 10 and 13, right. So question has almost around 15 plus minus questions were asked over on the environment and ecology. And now I want to add a disclaimer over here. See, मतलब number of questions and the segments may vary because based on analysis, right. तो मेरे जो understanding analysis है, so based on this I have prepared this particular chart. So I hope you guys are getting the significance of this kind of analysis as in. ठीक है. तो अब now based on this particular chart, what inferences I have drawn, and that you need to keep these inferences while preparing for this particular subject. Okay. So देखो, I hope this is much visible to you guys. Okay, so now you'll find based on this analysis now of the last 8 years question, we can absolutely infer some fact, some observations, as in जैसे questions on the basic of the subject, that is ecosystem, ecology, food chain, web, almost nowhere or rare. They are now getting comparatively less. Even in the old pattern, yeah, 16 से पहले भी you will find comparatively less question थे. तो अब basics, does that mean we are supposed to keep the basic aside? Absolutely not. See, that is rather the foundation, है ना? And thus we are not supposed to skip this basic foundation. We have to prepare this thing in all required detail. So you have to keep this thing in mind. Second, a common trend 2018 to 24 अगर हम देखें तो there increased number of questions from the species biodiversity या species behavior, species distribution. It means what? We have to focus on the species. And I believe, if I am not wrong in that case, those species in your surrounding, जैसे elephant है, क्वेश्चन पूछा, चीता करंट अफेयर में तो क्वेश्चन पूछा है, स्क्विरल क्वेश्चन पूछा है ना. तो इन दो स्पीशीज, दोज आर इन आवर सराउंडिंग, वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन प्लांट एंड एनिमल. ओके, डोंट बी गेट कंफ्यूज्ड अबाउट ओनली एनिमल स्पीशीज, नो, प्लांट एनिमल स्पीशीज एज वेल. देन सेकंड, राइट, तो सेकंड स्पीशीज का और इंक्रीमेंटल ट्रेंड है, पॉसिबली दिस ट्रेंड वुड कंटिन्यू इन द नेक्स्ट एग्जामिनेशन एज वेल. क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम इंटरनेशनल कन्वेंशंस एंड कमिटीज are pretty much common. 2 to 3 questions always asked, but generally from the rarely known category. Okay, rarely known category, क्योंकि पहले ये पूछ लेंगे कन्वेंशन ऑन कम्बैट डेजर्टिफिकेशन है, या तो वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज कन्वेंशन है, या CMS पे. बट नाउ यू विल फाइंड अब जो है वो अब रेयर नोन, जैसे यू विल फाइंड दी इंटरनेशनल ट्री ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है, या यू विल फाइंड वर्ल्ड टॉयलेट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है ना. तो कन्वेंशंस और कमिटीज इस टर्म में क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे, दोज आर कंपैरेटिवली रेयर नोन. Then for location based question from the protected areas, national park, wildlife sanctuary, biosphere reserve, right, yeah, ये वाले जो questions हैं now they have comparatively, you will find, have lose their charm and registered a decline. But still, that does that mean? No, we have to prepare, because this rather define the very soul of this particular subject. Then Pollution and its sources always remain at the core of the framing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly it depends on number of questions will always be asked in the examination. So we have to focus on, जैसे Delhi का pollution है तो question आएगा ही आएगा, water pollution है question आएगा ही आएगा. You will find जो current affairs में various topics है इस पर questions बनेंगे ही बनेंगे. So these observations you have to keep it in mind while going through this subject for the purpose of preparation. I hope दिस ऑब्जर्वेशन बेसिक पे क्वेश्चन कम है बट प्रिपेयर तो करना है. स्पीशीज के बिहेवियर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन पे क्वेश्चन है वो भी वेल नोन वाले. देन यू विल फाइंड द पोल्यूशन के क्वेश्चन 1, 2, 3 क्वेश्चन कंपलसरी है. नेशनल पार्क प्रोटेक्टेड एरियाज के लोकेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन कम हो रहा है बट अगेन दिस आर इक्वली इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड यू विल फाइंड इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के जो रेयर लोन कैटेगरी के क्वेश्चन है दोज आर इक्वली being asked. So I hope this topic is this discussion trend analysis is rather much helpful for you. Just try to inculcate this understanding, okay, or add this understanding while studying for this subject. I hope you will prepare accordingly, and I will keep uploading videos in in order to have your better strategize your preparation. So thank you and have a good time.